Thank you. Great to have you all on the call. Um, just to say, it's an honor to have you this afternoon on this webinar organized by Coach Africa, dubbed Coaching with Credibility. Yeah, and our big goal today is to answer the questions on or about how do we get credentialed as coaches, how do we get seen, how do we get paid. So we're going to dive deep into that, but our main focus will be around inspiring us, to step into this new identity. We call it a coaching identity, and at Coach Africa we say that when you're getting into that identity, you take it a step further. You get a credential, or you get a certification that helps you work with that new identity. And so the next thing would be around, answering all of your questions about the Credentialed Coach program. So Coach Africa is running this program and has done so for the past 5 years. And, it's a flagship that we have done very, very well on this continent. And today we want to, share a lot more about what has been happening, but also most importantly, to get you to, make that call or make that decision, especially if you're very keen on coaching, to make that decision to become, credentialed or get a certification and then move on with your coaching. So you might be, a professional in your career, you're professional, you might be, a normal coach. You've been doing coaching work, but you haven't yet gotten the certification. If you are either one of those, this is a very good program for that we are going to share with you. And the idea will be that, if you're a professional person, you're doing HR, I don't know what you're doing, well, within your profession, you can still coach. It doesn't matter what your profession is. And if you are, been doing it informally, this is a good time, to make that decision and say, you know what, let me take it a notch higher and get the credential locked in. So why would this be important? And this is what this session is going to talk about. You want to know, can I create a business as a coach? And how would that look like? Can I get onto coaching benches that, are paying with this skill? You want to know whether that is possible and how, it can be done, etc., etc. And with us this afternoon, I'm glad to introduce to you our founder of Coach Africa, Dr. Nora Njuba-Bwaya, who is currently an MCC. An MCC is a Master Certified Coach. It is a very prestigious level in coaching. And I think in Uganda, we only have 2 MCCs. Danny will be telling us, or Nora will be telling us how many MCCs we have on the continent. But Nora is also known as the grandmother of coaching in Africa, in East Africa. She started coaching here and she started the school. She's a great visionary. We saw this so many years ago, that the industry will grow and leadership in Africa will be shaped by this skill in addition to many others that already exist. So Nora, we are very, very proud, first of all, to have you here with us today. We know that you're a very busy person, and yet you continue to nurture this baby, Coach Africa, every single day. We appreciate you and glad to have you on this call. The next person I'll introduce is my colleague again, Danny Den Hartog. Danny is from the Netherlands. He's equally a founder in Coach Africa and recently a certified neuroencoding specialist. Danny, we are very proud of you. You can imagine what that means. Just having a neuroencoding specialist on our team speaks volumes as you'll get into the coaching space. So Danny, we're glad to have you. And my name is Aileen Walusimbi. I'm an ACC, I'm a coach. And what I do is I head the academy, the Coach Africa Academy. You host this afternoon. And our big, big dream is to ensure that we get people on the continent to credential or to get certified as coaches. You know, this continent of ours is a very rich continent. It's vast. There's lots of opportunities to push, you know, business, to push leadership. And we feel that we can do so many things for ourselves. Just growing that mass of coaching on this continent is one of those things. And as the Academy, we're looking to skill over 5 million coaches. And if you're on this call, I must tell you, you qualify to be one of those coaches to bless this continent. So good to have you. Now, before we get into the details of this webinar, are you on this call? And maybe you've been coaching, mentoring, or leading teams or serving in your community, but for one reason, you don't get paid for what you're worth. You know, you hold these nice conversations with people. You see people transform their businesses. You see them transforming their career journeys, etc., etc. But you don't know where that skill sits. You don't know. The people don't even pay for your work. They just come to you whenever they have challenges. Are you one of those? You know, have you, you know, engaged with corporates, with, you know, organizations to be taken on as a coach or to support them, but for some reason they don't take you so seriously, or they don't pay you back your value? Are you hitting a ceiling, or is it frustrating as you do this work? You know, you're not seeing the transformations in the people you're coaching. So there are people amongst us here that have got that thing. They call it a gift. They normally call it a gift. I have a gift of talking to others. I have a gift of, you know, challenging people to do big things. But for some reason, you have conversations, one, two, and then people are fired up, but then you don't know how to push that conversation to another level, okay? And yet you feel you have what it takes. So you keep wondering and saying, is there something I need to learn, something else? I want to tell you that, you know, all of these questions or all of these challenges, we understand. So the gift might be there on the inside of you to coach. For some people, it is the skill. You've even gone to coaching school somewhere, but things don't seem to be making or adding up very well for you. This is the webinar you needed to attend, because we are going to explore all of these questions and bring you to a path that will help you understand how you can create a new journey for yourself. Okay, at Coach Africa Academy, we teach you. We don't only equip you with a skill, but we give you all the tools to enable you to do your work well as a coach. And not only do it well, but stand out when you do your work as a coach. So this then must be by now presenting a new idea. Is it true that credentialing is important? Because some people have stayed in the coaching space. Maybe you've been holding these conversations and you're telling yourself, I'll continue this way. Besides, I can help people, you know. The question is, how far do you want to go with this skill that you have, or this gift that you have, or even as a professional? How do you want to, you know, create a new shift for yourself and for the people that you serve, you know, to move to another level, to get people to start getting results that they so badly need? So, truth is, credentialing is important. Certification is important. You know, we can no longer hide behind the chairs to say we won't certify and think that we're going to create a breakthrough for ourselves and for our clients. And why is this so? Number one, when you get a credential, for example, with Coach Africa, one thing that Coach Africa has done so well is we adhere to the Africa Board of Coaching, Consulting, and Coaching Psychology in South Africa. It's a body that sets the standard for credibility in coaching and consulting. So when you come onto our program, you're able to get that certification. You're also able to go for the gold standard at the same time, and that is under the International Coaching Federation. So you come to one program in one school, and you go away with two important certifications. the ABCCP and the ICF certification. That is one. And why would that be important? Clients are looking for people with those credentials, okay? And so you can't miss out on any coaching bench if you have those certifications. The next truth is about credibility. We all know that, you know, in the different professions that we come from, credibility is a big deal. You know, you want to be respected for what you know and what you are able to do. And one of the ways is attaining a credential. So this credential sets you apart from the crowd. You no longer are swimming at the back, you are the center of the lake. And that is where the companies that need you will find you. You have the credential. So what happens when you get the ABCCP and the ICF, you're mapped onto their gateways. Yeah, so your name appears on the ABCCP website and on the ICF Global website for coaches. So when a client is looking for somebody to coach in Africa, for example, you know, in a certain specific area, they'll just look you up and they call you and get you on their coaching bench. The other truth is that your confidence will be built in the process, because now suddenly you know what this is about. You know what the skill is, you know how it can be applied, you know where it cannot be applied, you know how to use it. You can facilitate a transformational process with someone, with an organization, with individuals. You have truth, or you have what we call tested methods, you know, that can help you do that very, very well. There are frameworks that we share with you when you come to the coaching school, and all of these shape the way, you know, you show up as a coach or the way you work. And the other important truth also is, you know, you being recognized both locally and globally. Remember, we talked about the ABCCP, and then we talked about the ICF. Okay, so when you have those two certifications, sounds very good. You know, suddenly you are in two markets. You are into the African market and the international market. And you can do work anywhere, yeah, across borders. You're not limited to only work in your country. So that is the beauty of credentialing as a coach. But also, over and above that, and that maybe will lead me into the next slide, coaching as a profession has grown. It has grown. Nora, remember 2-3 years ago, yeah, the statistics were amazing. But I'm just looking at 2022. I've just been looking at the ICF Global Survey report on coaching, and my oh my, I'll read here that in 2022 the number of practitioners in the world exceeded 100,000. In 2029 we had about 60. You know, so there is a 54% increase in number of coaches. That means that the demand for coaching is real. You want to be in that gap, in that space, okay? And then in Africa alone, the number of coaches has gone up, has increased by 74%. That is Middle East and Africa, you know? And there must be a big reason to explain, you know, that huge increase, 74%. And then, of course, we also know that over 80% of clients all over the world prefer to work with coaches that are credentialed or that have certifications, you know? So you want to be sure that you have your certifications ready in order for you to tap into the benefits that the market will present to you. So what we are saying at Coach Africa is you don't need to start all over again. For example, if you've already done the coach training, you know, in one school or the other, you can come onto this program and we get you to the finish line. If you have not started at all, this is an opportunity. You know, you feel that this is a skill that you should be growing, you know, and this is a good time. The Coach Africa Academy will be ready to support you, to walk you through the journey until when you get that ABCCP and the ICF credential. We are saying that it's about you owning your future. So you make the call, make the investment, and then get into class and get this credential in your pocket. Danny, can we move on, please? And while Dan is moving on, kindly mention in the chat if you're here and you're professional or you are just an informal coach, would like to know which category you fall in. Feel free to fill in the chat, but also mention the country where you're coming from. So you can say, Aileen Walusimbi, Uganda, professional coach. We'll pick it up from there. So while you do that, I'll gladly invite Nora, Dr. Nora Njiwa Bwaya, our founder at Coach Africa. Nora.
Thank you.
Nice to you and over
so much.
to you. Yeah.
And good afternoon. I don't know whether it is still morning for anybody, but hello, wherever you are. Just give me a reaction. Give me one of those emojis so I know where we are at right now. Any emoji that you feel like having, but you are welcome to the session. Okay, as I wait for the emojis coming through, I would like to just talk about why is it Coach Africa? You could become credentialed through so many. And I think Aileen has talked about all these different reasons. So I'm here to say why Coach Africa, and we are here as a team, by the way, just three of us representing a big team of over 10 people that you are likely to come in contact with during this program. So Coach Africa is one of Africa's leading coach training academies. Now, it isn't only Coach Africa. We talked about ICF and ABCCCP. Now, through the ABCCCP, it will be Coach Africa. The certification that you will get as an ICF certified or credentialed coach will be from Coach for Excellence. We believe in partnerships. So for that we work with Coach for Excellence, and they are the people that will be working with us. When you go to the platform, you will be finding Coach for Excellence. That is the name under which we work with ICF. Now, we are drawing from all the lessons that we have learned across the many years. Coach Africa is over about 20 years now. And over the 20 years, we've been training coaches at different levels. So we've picked one thing or two. And I will tell you that in Africa, there are not that many institutions, one, that will give you that dual certification, but two, that claim to have 20 years of experience. But we are also very passionate when it comes to building Africa. That's why our tagline is Nurturing African Excellence. We are proud Africans, knowing that it is slightly different when you're working in our kind of environment, and the culture and the spirituality that comes with Africa. There are some things that are not exactly the same. So in our training, in our coaching, we are mindful of that context, and we would like to equip people, not necessarily Africans, but people that work with Africans, especially African leaders. And for that reason, we've come up with different models, I would say bespoke African models, which will be equipping you to handle and thrive with this African market. I think that is about it. I'm happy to answer questions when we get to the question time, but I think so far that is it. Over to you, Aileen.
Thank you, Nora. Thank you for that brief intro about Coach Africa. So let's quickly dive into the credentialed coach, which is the big reason as to why we're here. So the credentialed coach is our 9-month flagship online coaching training program. It is fully accredited by the ICF, the International Coaching Federation, and the ABCCP, the Africa Board for Coaching, coaching, consulting, and normally forget the others, and coaching psychology. Yeah, it's live mentorship. There's a big community around it. And we also have what we call practical coaching labs, whereby we don't only give you theory, the theory of coaching. We give you the theory, but then we spend a lot of time trying to develop your practical skills, your ability to actually do the coaching. And that's what earns you the credential at the end of the day, because when you get so good at it, you can't miss the credential. Okay. And the credentialed coach, of course, without a doubt, opens doors to global opportunities. This reminds me, Nora, of when I started coaching a couple of years ago and the kinds of benches I'm able to sit on today. I'm very, very proud of myself. And thank you for leading me all the way. Yeah. So there's no doubt you'll get on the.
May I add to that while you're at the credentialed coach? One of the
Yes.
things that is special is when Danny tells you having the skills is one thing, monetizing the skills is quite another. So when we talk about these coaching labs, it's not only for the coaching skills, but you will get to learn that there are also skills that you need as a great coach to now start getting or making money out of your skills. Now I can talk about it freely, Danny. I think in the beginning you would talk money. I'm like, oh my God. All right.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And I think this is what makes a program, different. Yeah. That's what makes it different. You don't go away with only the skill. You also want to know how to monetize it. And Dan is normally the man behind the monetization. Very, very critical for any person wanting to venture into this. Yeah. And then, of course, having that dual accreditation. Okay. So in the credentialed coach, what do we want to do? We want to build your confidence as a coach. And I have talked about this. We want you to gain credibility so that you serve from a place of knowing, a place of understanding, also a credible place. That boosts you so much. You want to also attract better and higher paying or both private, corporate, government, and NGO clients. Now, I normally say this that 3 years ago or 4, we did not have many, international clients in the market requesting for coaching. However, that has significantly shifted. Now we have big players in international markets that come down with big programs. And these days, every leadership program has got a coaching component going. Yeah. And who is supposed to serve on those programs? It is you and I. So when you get through the credentialed coach, you are able to start, earning much better than you would ordinarily do if you didn't have the credential. And then, of course, you coach with proven African broad coaching frameworks. We always want to emphasize this, that there are frameworks that have been, developed over the years, all over the world. Yeah. Frameworks that have been intended to serve certain markets. We are glad to say that, in Africa, one of the, just Nora herself has been at the forefront of doing a very, very powerful and interesting, eye-opening research on how coaching works in Africa. And she's even developed a coaching model, which has given to us to share with all the learners on the program. Yeah. So these frameworks or models are very, very interesting, and just utilizing them when we are working with our clients are mind changing, I must tell you. And so this is the beauty that, getting credentialed will give you. You'll cease to go away working with only the GROW model, which is very famous on the internet, and also tap into others. There are other frameworks that have been grown in South Africa, and even in is it Zambia? Yeah. And all of this is meant to grow our coaching context within the continent to a level whereby we serve our clients with awareness of where we are coming from. Yeah, the difference in our culture is not lost in translation when we are doing coaching. So we feel that this and more will support you to, become that coach that you have always desired to be right here in the Credentialed Coach program. Yes, and we had, oh, Anderitu. We had
Everyone, my name is Anderitu. I am based in Nairobi, Kenya, and I work for a Canadian-based NGO that is Digital Opportunity Trust. I started my journey of coaching in 2020, where I was volunteering to coach and support young entrepreneurs in the organization who were creating innovative solutions during the COVID-19 pandemic. This experience and the curiosity led me to explore coaching more seriously. And luckily, through my organization DOT, I was able to enroll in the coaching program with Coach Africa. And I can truly say that is where my transformation began. It wasn't just about getting certified for me. It was about doing the inner work and having the passion in getting into coaching. The entire fraternity at Coach Africa guided us through with a lot of commitment to ensure that we excel, but also come out as credible coaches who are reliable and trustworthy. Kudos to my trainers, Aileen, Nora, Esther, Danny, among others, who I can still attest are still the best in the game. And do please receive your flowers, my amazing coaches. So in addition to the training that we received, we did a lot of practice sessions with our peers in the program. We did a lot of practice with real clients and a lot of mentor coaching sessions that really stretched me. The journey was intense, but deeply rewarding. To date, I still have my peers who we continually walk the journey with, and my mentor coach, an amazing woman who still checks on me from time to time to see my progress and to urge me to be better. Now, looking back from where I stand and having attained my certification in 2023 and having supported quite a number of clients through personal and career journeys, but also having seen the shift in my own leadership, I can say that this wasn't just a professional milestone. It has been a life shift for me. And so, this confirms that you all are in the right place. So do take that first step. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have people working with me. And finally, I would want to give an analogy, a very interesting analogy. Coaching is like a microwave. You don't know how much you need it until you get it. And then you wonder how you ever lived without it. So, as you begin your coaching journey today, remember, it's not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more of who you really are. And I can promise you, this journey that you're about to take is worth every step. Thank you, and I wish you the very best.
At Coach Africa, I do get a bit emotional when I'm really thinking, and I know Nora and Aileen shares the same. When we really think what this is about, and if you're here on this call, you know that you're here to serve. You know that you're here to really love on your clients, not by doing everything for them, but helping them to discover the way. And yes, mentoring is beautiful because you could tap into your own lived experience and you could say, you know what, like this is what I've done. And these are the steps to follow. And when you truly learn how to coach, you actually get to go deeper with clients because they will light up. You will see the spark in their eyes. And if you've already been coaching, you know what I'm talking about. You know the moment where you see that aha, you see them finally maybe for the first time in their lives, really believing in themselves and in their abilities to make a change for themselves. And that is what lights us up. And today I have the privilege, and please put in a chat, like, what lights you up most about this coaching journey? Like, why are you on this journey? Because we would love to know. And I will talk for a couple of minutes about our Credentialed Coach program, because we would be doing you a disservice not to formally invite you in this program. There's one thing that I've learned in my own certification journey as a neuroencoding specialist, is that so many of us, we know what to do and we know why we want to do it, and we are not doing it, right? Who has been guilty on that, right? We know what to do. We know we really want to do that. It's actually our calling, our mission, and then we still don't do it. So we feel it's our moral obligation to you today to make you an invitation, right? And please comment in the chat if that's okay if we do that invitation today. Because literally we've done a survey and most of you have said that you are looking for an opportunity to do that. And as an accredited coach training institute, we have a program. The program is the Credentialed Coach, and Coach Africa is the organization that can support you. So I will take a couple of minutes to formally invite you into the program, right? And then we'll go to our Q&A. And during the Q&A, we'll touch upon a lot of questions that have come up through you submitting the survey. And we received hundreds of responses. So we have we have a really good idea of where you're right now, and we'd love to get to know you more in this Q&A session. So do prepare your questions. While I'm talking, prepare your questions because you have the opportunity to ask us these questions in a couple of moments. All right, let me just go back to the presentation. Hold on for a moment. All right. That's the only downside if you get to do this with one screen. This time, normally I have two screens, but I'm juggling one screen at the moment. Okay, I have the presentation. All right, here we go. All right, so we're going into the formal invitation, and I'm going to take some of the things that you've actually said in your survey, so that we can talk about like why this is the right move for you, right? So what you've said is that you do not just want a certificate, but you want a career, you want credibility, and you want impact. That you want to make real impact and coach professionally. These are all survey responses, right? From hundreds of people. And you've said that you want to live your life by design, right? With purpose and helping people unlock their potential. And that you want to build a name for yourself as a coach and also be taken seriously. Because so many people, they are hiding, right? Can you comment in the chat, please? Comment hiding if you have been guilty of it. I for sure have. I know Aileen has. I know Nora has, right? And Nora, I hope you don't mind, but when we started to work together and we started our partnership, you know, even with decades of experience on your belt, right? I've been saying to you, like, you know, you get to get on that stage because Africa, the world needs to hear you. And now we're seeing you, and you've like stepped into that, like you have that experience. But even our top MCC, like, you know, you're one of the top 20 coaches probably on the continent, right? Like in terms of your credentials and your experience, you have worked with thousands of clients, you have thousands of coaching hours, right? And then why would we stop and not make ourselves visible? Why would we not do a webinar like this to tell you how great the opportunity is to join us in the Credentialed Coach? We would be doing you a disservice. So stop hiding, right? Like you are only going to be taken seriously if you start hiding. And as Aileen said, it's not about starting from scratch. It's about stepping into the next version of you, right? You've also said to us, what is holding you back? So you've said, and the Credentialed Coach has been designed to solve that. You've said that some of you have no formal training, right? Maybe you have been coaching as a hobby, or people have actually naturally gravitated to you to say, hey, can you coach me? Can you help me? And you've already been that guide and person for them, but not in a formal role, and you have never charged to the extent that you could. Or maybe you are a professional and you are a leader and you have been guiding teams. You have been really seeing that coaching has been making an impact on your teams and your ROI in your organization. But you know that you can go deeper and you're looking for these coaching skills. So it's often when we lack confidence or the clarity, and I've just spoken to Valerie, one of our current members in our credentialed coach. We have been supporting him for now about 7 months. He's from Rwanda, and he just told me literally an hour ago, he said, one of the things that he loved most about the credentialed coach is that he actually had that clarity, that now he knew what he was doing as a coach. So he finally knew what are the competencies. What does success look like for you as a coach? And again, everything that you don't know, right? You get the frameworks, and financial uncertainties is some of the other things, right? And we'll talk a little bit about it, because for a lot of you, we know that you're in this space, and we have been there as well, where we have so many dreams, and then there's the financial reality where it's like, it's not yet where you want to be, and there's the gap. But the truth is also, unless we invest and we step forward and we invest in our journeys, we are not going to get anywhere. So that is sort of like the catch that we always have, right? And we will walk with you step by step until you feel ready, equipped, and clear. Now, what credentialing unlocks for you, essentially, this is not about getting your ICF, ACC, your credentials. It is not about getting your ABCCP. It's actually not about getting certification, right? What it truly is, it's about opening doors. We are all people. What we have in common is we want to make a bigger difference. And the sad thing, and we can talk about that for hours, the sad thing is that a lot of organizations, institutions, they will keep their doors closed for you if you are not credentialed, right? Now, again, is that fair? We don't know, right? And is that system going to change? Probably not. Not for the foreseeable future. As a matter of fact, there are more, because the coaching is not a protected profession. Anybody can wake up and call themselves a coach tomorrow, and you need to set yourself apart from your competition. And being credentialed, especially having the gold standard internationally with the ICF, and also the an African stamp of, like, nobody needs a stamp of approval, but you get what we're saying, where it's like, it's just this huge vote of confidence where it's like, hey, other people, they say that I'm doing great, right? And that is the same as why we just showed Anne's testimonial to you, because we can have 100 slides about how great Coach Africa is, but you're not going to believe us unless other people say, how we have impacted their lives. And we have many, many more, experience, like client experiences, right? But your outcomes is you're getting professional visibility. You are going to be able to coach at the highest level. You are going to get into companies and organizations if you put in the work, right? You're going to build a reputation that leads to real income, and you will feel more fulfilled and aligned. So this is your chance to be seen. And we're going a little bit faster because we do want to go into the Q&A. But basically, this is for you if you're done with, feeling stuck, right? You're already coaching, but feeling stuck, and you're just ready to make the next step. And, we basically got your back. So what we know from the survey is that 45% of you are 100% ready. And you said that this is your top priority. Right? 44% of you are close and actively exploring to invest in a program like what we have. And only 12% of you are just curious and, just having an idea of what coaching is. So this comes back to most of the vast majority of you, if you're watching this, you know that this is for you, right? And then it's like, okay, do we actually do? what we say that we're going to do? Do we actually act upon the thing that we say that is important, right? And if you are ready for that, we would like to formally invite you into the Credentialed Coach. The regular investment is $3,500. Now, this is a 9-month journey together. This is not a Udemy course or any like quick online course where you just like, you know, you pay $27 and you're done and you get a sort of a certificate. This is us walking step by step with you on the journey and guiding you, holding your hand for 9 whole months. It includes a process where you get your own one-on-one mentor, right? And that you get to hang out with her for 10 sessions. And you get to be supervised. You get to submit your coaching recordings. You get to grow. And then you get to have your gold standard. So any gold standard does not come at a $27 cost. But we wanted to do something special for you if you're seeing this webinar right now. And if you act within the next 24 hours, we want to give you this rate, a special rate of $2,997. And as a webinar only pay in full bonus, you will actually get a one-on-one session with me. I don't charge by the hour, I charge by the transformation. And I would encourage you to do the same with your clients because, you know, like coaching is not a commodity, right? Like it's actually a value transformation. So if I would charge by the hour, I would charge you $500 for 1 hour. And that is what the coaching business strategy is worth, that I will give you as a bonus if you move forward, and you can claim it anywhere between now and the next 9 months. That is my commitment to you and our commitment to you as Coach Africa. Now, we also know that unfortunately not everybody is able to put their card up and pay $2,997, right? So what we have done is we have actually created, and this is only for this webinar, we have created a 9 installment plan, a payment plan, and we've never done this before. We used to have just 3 or 4 pay plans, and this 9 pay will go away after the next day. So we can do this for 9 payments of $350. And for the first 5 people that move forward, again, we would love you to do the thing that you already want to do. Then you actually get half an hour with me, which is valued at then $297, right? Obviously slightly more expensive than a regular half an hour session. So this 9 pay is only available within the next 24 hours if you act and you actually move forward, right? 42% of you said that you needed financial support to figure it out, right? So we hope that $350 like is going to be something that you could look at, right? And 31% of you said that you would commit if we offered you a payment plan. So that's the reason why we did this. And 23% of you maybe, and again, this is on the continent, this poll is like, this is not a global thing, right? We know that a lot of you are ready for this step, and we would encourage you to move forward with confidence and to say yes to yourself and invest in this program. Now, what happens when you join? You get instant access to all our orientation modules. You'll be supported by experienced mentor coaches like Aileen, like Nora, and you will join a community of mission-driven African coaches. And again, we have a coaching bench, right, with Coach Africa. So yeah, like if you get towards the end and you accrue hours and you show that you're an awesome coach, there may be really interesting engagement possible for you. We don't promise anything, but that's what we can do. So in a moment, we will share the link with you in the chat. We also share it by follow-up email, so it's 24 hours. The new cohort starts very soon. As a matter of fact, we have, Aileen, are we starting on the 19th of June?
Yes, we are.
Right, so we will be
19th
starting on
is
the
the day.
19th of June for this cohort. And we only have about, just to give you an idea, around 7 spots available. Somewhere between 7 and 10 spots. It's a very intimate group, and this is not for everyone. So we do understand that, right? So, but if you're ready, and you want to commit to your next level of as a coach, this is definitely the step for you. All right. So yeah, the floor is open for Q&A. And let me just raise the first question. And I will ask this question to Aileen. Aileen, are you up for a hot seat?
Yes, I am.
All
I'll
right,
try to
awesome.
give it a
So
shot.
what would you say to someone who says, do I really need a credential if I've been coaching informally for years? Do I really need a credential if I'm, been coaching
Yeah,
informally? Like, why would I need that? And everybody's invited to
I
put their
think,
questions in the chat now, right? Like we've prepared a couple of questions, but we'll prioritize your questions in the chat if they come in.
yeah. Thank you, Danny, for that question. I used to, from experience, I'll share this from experience really. Many years ago, before I had, done my credentialing journey or process, I used to comfort myself, yeah, with the idea that I think I can make it. I'd go in the mirror and assure myself that I'm a coach, I can do this, you know. Did that take me any step ahead in my journey? I think it did. It got me to become bolder, trust myself. But then as I engaged, I kept hitting that so-called wall you're talking about, you know. And then as I connected with other coaches, first of all, I used to admire Nora so much, you know, and looking at the kind of work she was, whenever you'd sit down with her, she'd tell you, Aileen, I've coached thousands of Chinese, you know, you know, in my practice, I've done this. And you're thinking, wow, how can I get to that? So that motivated me, you know, and engaging with other coaches on the continent to go for the credential, because suddenly I got to know that I could actually do my work much better in a structured way, in an informed way, do work that is backed up by research. You know, there was a lot that was there for me to learn. You know, I started off, by doing executive coaching. And then before I knew it, I got to learn there was this group coaching. And now it has even moved further to team coaching. And the industry is on the move. It's evolving with the times and needs. So do you need a credential to be able to serve at that level? Of course you do. Of course you do need the credential. There's no doubt about that. And if
Thank you,
you've
Aileen.
been there and thinking that, you can continue, doing your small coaching, think about your bigger plan. Yeah, because these days, even executives that are retiring from big banks, big institutions, one of the send-off packages they give them is developing the coaching skill. And we have such people in our school. Yeah. So meaning that there's something about coaching. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aileen. So put your questions in the chat. I've just put the link to our special webinar offer in the chat for those of you that wanna move forward. Let's go to Nora. Nora, I would love to.
There is a question,
Yeah, go for it.
Danny. There is a question there in the chat. Are there specific coaching skills that apply to separate groups of teenagers and youth?
Yeah.
Now,
Samantha, thank you
coaching,
for asking that. Go for it, Nora.
yeah, coaching, I would liken it because all of us know doctors and we work with doctors. Everybody starts with the same set of basic skills that everyone needs, no matter what the niche you'll be taking. Then later on, once you've gotten the basic skills, you can start focusing on whatever niche you have chosen. It could be working with teenagers, it could be corporate people, life coaching, or whatever it is. Then you might start wanting to look at specific skills that relate to those kinds of people. I don't know whether that addresses it, Samantha?
Yeah, love that. So there's this thing where we help you to really explore, right? Like, what is it that you are passionate about? And we would encourage you, as Nora said, like through doing, coaching is a doing sport, right? That you actually get to explore. By the way, we typically, and I know Nora is very strong on this, we typically encourage coaches, if you, for example, have a 60-minute session, that you actually end in time. And for this session, it is my commitment to stay a little bit longer for those that have specific questions, because we know that it's a lot of information, right? And we would love to keep no stone unturned to help you. And Aileen, if you're potentially able to spend a little bit longer, we could go about 50 minutes over, just to answer all the questions. But in the meantime, let's make sure that we maximize Nora's time here with us. Right? So let's see what other questions we have. Nora, if you look at from your position, right? What do you feel that the support is that our clients are actually getting in the program? Like, what is most unique about this, and what is different from any other programs out there?
Okay, first of all, the size of class. Many other programs will bring in, like you are 20 or even 30 in a class. And of course, the more people you are, the less individualized support you are going to get. And the other critical thing is ABCCCP has 10 competencies. ICF has 8. Now, there are competencies under ABCCCP that are not under ICF. On this program, we cover the full range. And so that is also unique to this. And of course, the quality of people that we use for both supervised coaching and the mentor coaching. And Danny, there is also a question, another question from Dennis. You saw that?
Yeah, please go for it.
Dennis, yes, you are asking whether we would be able to take on people that are already practicing. If you have ACC and you have been practicing for a bit, what we do usually to join our bench, we would take you through an interview and you get to coach as part of that interview. And once we are good with the technical skills and the values, then we can work together. We are always recruiting coaches because they are in high demand. We never seem to get enough good coaches.
Yeah, and that's really the value. I think that coaching bench, and this is about what we say about the doors, right? Like Nora, maybe you can speak to that point a little bit, because that's the point that we really want to put across, that most coaches, they at some point they hit the ceiling. They're like, okay, these doors stay closed to me, right? These organizations only take me seriously if I am credentialed. Right? Could you speak to that for us for a minute?
For sure. These days, most significant organizations will definitely insist on having internationally recognized not only certificate, but also credentialing. And the two are different. Certificate is what you get when you've gone through this program. On the ICF, you will get the Coach for Excellence certificate, and you can then use that certificate to go to ICF to tell them, hey, look here, I have what you need. I've gone through this program, and so I'm ready to be tested. And then you'll go through that channel, you sit for the exams, you offer whatever it is they're asking you, and then they will credential you, now giving you that label. You are at this level, the other level. And that takes you to a global level, because then you can be compared with other coaches in that range, and people know exactly where you are in terms of experience.
Yeah, absolutely love that. Aileen, anything that you have to add on that you can add on that, on the doors, the part where you actually unlock opportunities for yourself with this?
I think Nora has stated it so well. I wouldn't
Right.
want to even add anything. She stated it so well. Yeah, it's getting this credential is the opener. It's like the key to the bench, period. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe I could also add that when a person is just beginning, this is how we support you. On the one hand, Coach Africa has many clients where we are doing training, coaching, and that sort of thing. And sometimes there are clients who are not, the organization is not going to offer them coaching, as in pay for them, but they are available and they are looking for an affordable coach. Now, when you are going on this program and you've been tested already, and the mentor says, oh, you are good to this level, then you are available to work with those kinds of clients at an individual level. And in the beginning, it doesn't matter that maybe people will pay $10, $20. It's okay. In the beginning, you want to prove to you that I can be valuable to some other person. And little by little, you start gaining that confidence until you get to charge 500 a session or whatever it is that you decide to charge your services for.
Great. Crystal's saying, do we have other payment plans as well? So this nine installment plan is basically something that we have never done before. It's the most economic way to get into the credentialed coach. So that's the best deal that we can do, and it's only available for the next 24 hours. Now in the future, would we do other payment plans? Maybe, and just know that we are only doing maybe 2 launches every year. So the best time to get into the credentialed coach is really now. And the second best time would be our next group. But yeah, like whatever, look at what's possible for you. We get that this is not for everyone. We understand that. And we also have a lot of other resources that we can support you on the way. Having said that, if you want to really get your credentials, like this is the program for you. All right, hope that helps. What is the difference, Nora? Maybe you want to speak to that. What is the difference between ICF and ABCCP? And why do we offer both of these credentials?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. First of all, the one that everybody knows about, the oldest in the world, is ICF, the International Coaching Federation. That is the one that started. Now, along the way, the African coaches came together and they realized that, okay, we are going for all these global different institutions, but there seems to be something that is missing. The way Africans work, the way we think, the way we get into conversations is significantly different. And so even a coach that has the highest rating on ICF was missing out something when it comes to interacting with your typical, let's say, African leader or leader working in an African environment. So these trained coaches came together. Most of them were ICF. I think they have a couple who were EMCC. So they came together and looked at what does it take to coach in the African context. Yeah. So they came up with the 10 competencies that we've been talking about. And these are different because they come with a different context. As an example, one of the competencies that is unique about ABCCP is the ability to cause a person to self-coach, building the capacity of a client to self-coach. Now, that might not be relevant for the Western world because their people will afford a coach. But in Africa, where people are really constrained in terms of resources, I want to have as few sessions as possible, and then I should be able to help myself. Another competence that is different is The first one in ABCCP sees and connects with the client. So it's not about let's meet and what's your goal, and we start talking about a goal. When you are coaching under, ABCCP, you are expected to receive me, see me, the way, is it the Zulus that greet Sawubona? I've seen you. We communicate, we connect, and then we start business later on. So there are those little differences, mostly cultural, that cause the competencies to be different. Why do we cover both of them? Because one, we believe in African excellence. It is good for us to be able to offer something that relates better to our people. And secondly, we would like to raise coaches that can be competitive at the global stage as well.
Yeah,
Does that
that's beautifully put. And if I may add one distinction there as well, just from an out of Africa perspective, right? When I set foot in Kampala or more recently in Johannesburg, and I had the privilege of interacting, it was exactly that thing where it's actually you feel this presence, which is very different from where I am, where people are not seeing you and sometimes they're greeting without really being interested in the other person. So it is from my perspective, what we have in terms of the African Brew methods that you've created in terms of the trees model, where we help coaches to really master methods that work for Africans, but also that it can be exported to the world, right? Because it would be such a waste if these beautiful methodologies actually stay in Africa, because we need to know that, like Europeans need to know that, Americans need to know about it. So your market, please consider your market not to be Kenya or Ghana or South Africa. Like I hear that all the time. I have a lot of private clients. Actually, one of my best paying clients, she's actually from Kenya, and just for reference, I charge $10,000 for my one-on-one coaching. It's a 3-month engagement, right? Like these are my rates. And I have a lot of clients from the continent, right? For one-on-one coaching. So what I hear a lot is that, oh yeah, people are like, here we have the rent, which is a problem, or we have the Kenyan shilling, or we have this, we have that. Like really the world is your playground. And it's up to you to change your mindset and instead of like, oh, like what, and I may offend some of you here. So I apologize in advance for that. And I'm going to be courageous to also share what I've been seeing, if you don't mind. And what I've seen from my perspective, I've seen some people saying, yeah, but I'm from Africa, I'm from South Africa, so I cannot make money with my coaching business. Now, there are plenty of people, and actually, as a matter of fact, one of my mentors, Vusi Tembekwayo, who is one of the richest people on the continent, right? Like he's running an empire, right? Like he's from South Africa. Why can't you do it? And I think that's just from my perspective, sitting here in a nice place in the Netherlands. Like the world needs more African coaches. The world needs you, and it's time for us to step up and show all the beauty that is there. Sorry, I'm getting a bit passionate, but like this is what I'm seeing. That's why we shouldn't be holding back, right? Aileen, how long is the program, or what is the time commitment?
Thank you, Danny, and thank you for sharing that other bit that that we've just heard from you. It is not far-fetched at all. It's not far-fetched what you're sharing. Thank you. How long is the program and what's the time commitment? So we're saying the program runs for 9 months. Okay. The way it is structured is so we do what we call the theory. I call it the theory of coaching. Yeah, we do a foundation program. And that program or that segment of the program is intended to, develop the coaching skills. So you're in class, you're attending live sessions with the faculty in the academy, and you're placing everything where it is supposed to be. place. You're learning the skill, the research behind it, how it is supported, etc., etc. Now, the bigger chunk of the work then comes after that facilitation period, okay? Whereby now you need to start practicing the skill. So you need to get people to practice the skill. You need to be supervised. Your supervisor is keen to know, how is she coaching? What does she say? What does she not say? So you have that opportunity to engage with a supervisor in a live session for a period. And then once your supervisor says, yes, we are good to go, then you'll move on to coach mentor, and you'll do all of those 10 sessions. And in there, you're still asking questions, because now you are in the market, you're practicing the skill, you meet challenges, you overcome some, you struggle with others, but you have this mentor coach to keep bouncing everything you're feeling, seeing, observing, noticing about the way you are coaching and your clients. So that period normally is interesting, and what makes it even long is, in the process, you are also accumulating 100 hours of coaching, because before you go for the certification, you must prove that you have done 100 hours of coaching. And that's what leads us to the 9 months. So in that process, every trainee plays out differently, again, depending on so many things. So 9 months, in there you have your 100 hours, you have done the assessments and passed them, and then you are prepared very well for the final exam, which is the ACC ICF credential. So that is the commitment. In terms of, how do we do it? So for example, during the foundation, we can run classes weekly for about 6 modules this time round. And then from that point, you start peer coaching, and then you get into supervision. Meanwhile, you're doing some assessments to keep, testing you to ensure that you are on form. Okay, and then you get into mentoring, then you finally collect all the hours and you're prepared for the final exam, then you sit for it and pass it.
Yeah. Aileen, thank you for sharing
Yes.
that. What we're hearing, that it requires a commitment, right? So this is not for you if you're like, oh, I want to have a certification or credential within a month, right? Like, and it's not for you if you're just seeking an online certificate. There's plenty of things out there. This is really for you if you want to take this seriously, if you want to have people by your corner that are actually looking at your coaching recordings, that they are like supervising you, mentoring you one-on-one, and actually want to improve over a longer period of time. I can tell you that, like, as a business person in the company, I used to really ask questions like, why can't we do this faster? Like, really coming from a different place. Why can't we do this faster? Like, 9 months is too long. Like, nobody wants to spend 9 months. Now, the truth is that, unfortunately, this is the process that it takes. So we would be doing you a disservice to say like, oh, this is 3 months, and then you end up taking 9 months, right? We want to be real. And I've actually learned to embrace that and to accept that it just takes time for us, right? Because we will hold your hand on a longer period of time. Now we're going to wrap up.
Let me just add this, Danny.
Yeah.
Let me just add this. So because it's not a microwave kind of thing, by the time you do the 9 months, you're on top of the world. Like, you can do everything. You can coach, you can make contracts with clients, you can speak about coaching, you can do so many things. It's like you've been refined. You're not waiting to first hit month 9 for you to start seeing some cash in your pocket. No. For most students, that happens in the process of collecting the 100 hours.
Absolutely.
And I feel that is where the beauty even is.
And as a matter of fact, that's why I put the coaching bonus in. So if you, again, and we are wrapping up, but if you want to move forward and you actually want to do this together with our support, right? We talked about how what the investment would be, and the coaching bonus that we have available for you is a one-on-one session with me where we talk about, okay, how can we actually monetize, right? And there's a lot of different questions that we could still explore. And if you have more questions, you are welcome to send that to either Aileen or myself, right? But if you're ready to actually move forward, like this is the time to do it. The webinar rate is $2,997, right? And you get 1 hour, and we actually work with you on how can you monetize. Like, I've been trained personally, and I don't like to tout my own horn. And I've also learned that it's important to share your expertise. So my expertise, I've been trained by the best in the world. I've been in a $25,000 mastermind, a $25,000 mastermind where I traveled to the US, to Arizona, and I was coached personally by one of the best in the world when it comes to actually presenting your coaching offers, right? And creating and presenting that with ease, so that it doesn't feel like, oh, now I have to share my offer. But like when I was preparing this for you today on behalf of our entire team, I could not wait to share this invitation. And I mean that because I absolutely love what we have created. And I've been trained by the best in the world in order to articulate that in a way that hopefully it has been coming across. And I would love to help you on a one-on-one basis to do the same for you, so that this is not a cost, but this actually has an ROI. We would love you to make money with your business as soon as possible. And if you are a leader in an organization, we would love you to see the results with your teams and the people around you as soon as possible. And if you are there in an organization right now, but you're like, I'm not, like, I know that there's a calling for me in my own business. I want to start an own business, and I think coaching is for me, right? Or if you're a consultant and you want to add coaching to your set of capabilities, again, the Credentialed Coach is the best place to be, and Coach Africa is the partner for you to help you support on the way. So we would like to officially welcome you in. We've come to the end of the webinar. I've shared the links in the chat. If you're watching the recording, you will see the links below this video. You can click on the links that will bring you to a payment page. And when you make your first payment, you immediately have access to the online components, the online modules. And with our entire team for the coming 9 months, starting on the 19th of June, we will be holding your hand, and we are going to do whatever it takes to help you do the thing that you said to us that you want to do. And the reason why you're here or listening to this replay is you want to take coaching seriously, right? And if you do, then we would love to support you and would love to guide you on this journey. A special thank you for Dr. Nora Nyubwa-Bwaya, our head coach, our founder, to Aileen Walisimbi-Oloya, our director of the Coach Africa Academy, and to all of you here. Thank you so much for being here. Feel free to reach out, to connect, to send your questions that you have. This offer is valid for 24 hours. After that, we'll still have a payment plan, but the 4-pay would be the maximum that we can do. And we will have a different full pay price. The bonus will also go away. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Samantha. Dennis is saying, yes, I want to do this, and please contact me for my onboarding. Dennis, welcome in. That's super awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Aileen, any last words from you? Just to wrap up?
Before we wrap up, I would just like to say this, that if you have been nursing a desire to do this, just get it done. Just get it done.
Just do it.
Thank you. Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
And
so
I was
much.
happy to see Engineer Morimi. I can't
I
wait
know,
to
right?
see the class.
Yeah.
And Charles
Thank
is
you
saying
all.
I'm definitely
Right.
Danny.
boarding.
Thank you, Nora.
Awesome, Charles.
I'll run. Thank you. Thank you so much, Danny.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.